Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to show you how to set up your calendar so that way you can start taking appointments online. Okay, so first you're going to want to go to Settings, okay, then you're going to want to go to Calendars, and then you're going to want to click on New Calendar. Okay, so over on this side you have a team calendar. For now, we'll just show you how to set up a single user calendar. The only real difference between the two is going to be you would have to add a team member, and that would be under team management here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just add a new calendar right here. We can go ahead and name the calendar. So I'm just going to say my first calendar. Okay. Then you can add a description if you'd like, so that way you can help to remember what the calendar is. And then you have the appointment title over here. By default, it will go to the contact's name. Okay, so if you'd like, you can change it, or you can just leave it as the contact's name. The meeting location, if you want to put your office or something like that, you totally can. And then you can put the event color if you prefer a certain color for this calendar. Next, you have it linked to your Google Calendar. Okay, so you'll see here you want to connect it to your Google Calendar. If you do not have your Google Calendar connected, you definitely want to get that set up first in the integrations portion. Okay, so for now we'll go ahead and just set up this, so we'll connect it here. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. Okay, so the sync option is going to refer to this particular calendar right here. Okay, so one-way sync means that it will look at the Google Calendar, okay, but it won't grab any of the contacts that may be associated with the event from Google. Okay, it will just use Google Calendar to reference if you're busy or not. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes sense. So next, you have two-way sync. Okay, the two-way sync option is just as it sounds. It's going to look at your Google Calendar. It's also going to look at this calendar right here. Okay, so if somebody books an appointment on this calendar, it's going to block it off in your Google Calendar, and vice versa. If somebody books an appointment on your Google Calendar, it's going to block it off on this calendar that you're creating right here. Okay, and when somebody books an appointment on your Google Calendar, it's actually going to bring the attendees as a contact into the system. Okay, so it's going to create a new contact, so that way everything is merged, okay, and everything is synced together. Then next you have the disable trigger option. Okay, so when you have the two-way sync option on, it's actually when you bring in contacts, if you have any triggers associated with the contacts, a new contact coming in, that'll automatically fire off, right? So this disable trigger means that it's going to disable all the triggers associated with you bringing in new contacts. Okay, so to give you an example, if a contact books an appointment on your Google Calendar and you have a trigger for, let's say, adding them to a pipeline, right? Every time a new contact comes in, you add them to a certain pipeline, right? Well, with disable trigger, even though they book an appointment on your Google Calendar and the contact is brought in, the triggers will not fire. And if you don't know what a trigger is, you can actually go and visit our video tutorial on triggers, okay, to get a better idea. Cool, so we'll go ahead and hit save and continue. So next you have the availability. So this is the slot duration, so how long is your appointment. The slot interval is just that, is at what times can people book the appointments. And then the buffer duration between appointments is if you needed, let's say, a 15-minute break between appointments to get ready for your next one, you can add a 15-minute buffer between each appointment. That will show up on your calendar. Okay, so the appointments per slot, pretty self-explanatory. Appointments per day, how many do you want if you want to max it out. at a certain amount, or if you want to just set up one per slot. Okay. So next is the minimum scheduling notice. The minimum scheduling notice is how many days can an appointment book in advance. Okay. Let's say you don't want somebody to book, right away. Let's say within the next 4 hours, because you just need that time, or even let's say 24 hours. Right? So somebody will not be able to book, let's say if it's Monday, they won't be able to book till Wednesday. Okay. Then you have the date range, so how far in advance can somebody book that appointment? And of course you have your office hours over here, so whatever times you would like people to be able to book appointments. So we'll go ahead and click next, so save and continue. And we're brought to the confirmation page. Okay. So here you can add a custom form. So if you don't want the standard form, which is name, phone number, email address, then you can add your own custom form. If you don't know what a form is or how to create one, you can always visit the tutorial on the forms. Okay. Next we have here is sticky contact. This is a really neat feature in that if a customer has previously visited your site and they've entered their information into any form, when they come back to your site, their contact information will already be pre-filled into the form, so that way you can reduce the friction. That way they don't have to re-enter all their information in again. Okay. So here you have Stripe payment. So if you would like to charge for appointments, you can enter the amount here, enter the currency, and then you can add a description here, so that way they know that they're being charged. Okay. Next, you have the notifications. So if you want the calendar, if somebody books an appointment, they can auto-confirm it, and you'll see like confirming the appointments and everything in another tutorial. But for now, if you want your appointments to be confirmed, you can do that, or you can uncheck it if you want to manually confirm appointments as they show up. If you need to alert anybody that they have a new appointment, you can enter their email address or your email address here. So here you can allow the Google Calendar to send an invitation or update emails to attendees. So if you want, they can send the Google Calendar invite, hey, add this to your Google Calendar. You have a reschedule and a cancellation link. And in this section, you have the additional notes. So here you can see that the reschedule link is posted in here and the cancellation link. So this will be part of the email that gets sent to the customer. And then you have the Facebook Pixel ID. You don't actually have to put the entire code in there. You can just put the Facebook Pixel ID, so the numbers. So this is just if you want to be able to track conversions or use them for a custom audience later on. You can set up the Facebook Pixel ID. And then custom code, so if you do know any CSS, if you want to change the colors, if you want to make the text a different font or different size, you can do that right here. So you can completely customize the calendar. And then lastly, you have the form submission. So you can either use a custom, thank you message. So this is just, it'll pop up the message right here. Or if you wanted to, you can actually take them to a custom thank you page. So if you wanted to get a little bit more fancy with it, redirect them to a page, with, I don't know, maybe an upsell offer or continue on in the funnel, you definitely would want to click this button so that way they don't get the standard thank you message. Cool. So once you have that all set up, everything will be complete, and you can hit complete and you have your calendar set up. Thanks guys. Bye.